if you're lucky enough to still be employed at the moment, unless of course you're in one of these very lucky and few industries that are positively impacted by the current COVID-19 situation, which happens to be working in its favour, you probably know what's coming, unless it's happened already. You probably know that at some point your manager, your boss, is going to approach you and ask you to take some time off, maybe start working part-time or somehow reduce your hours. You'll then have a decision to make, unless that's already been forced upon you already, and that's, do I take that time as long service leave if you're lucky enough to have it? Do I take it as personal leave or holiday leave? Or maybe you have no choice. Maybe you have to be at home, and maybe you should be taking that time as personal leave or sick leave or carer's leave. I think all those three are interchangeable terms, unless I'm mistaken. Now, I thought the distinction was very clear. And look, in most situations it is. Look, if you're ill, obviously, it's sick leave. If there's no reason why you should be at home, then, it's annual leave, presumably. But there is one situation which I thought was pretty clear, but I've received an email earlier this evening which actually prompted me to make this video. And in this situation, it seems like there's a bit of misunderstanding there. The email that I received was suggesting the exact opposite of what I thought was true. So I jumped on the internet and did a bit of researching. The situation that I'm referring to is, let's say you've got young children and your kid's school has closed. Unexpectedly, it's not holidays, but the kids have been asked not to come to school and instead to learn from home. Now, ordinarily, you'd maybe ask your parents, so the kids' grandparents, to come and help out. But obviously they're a high-risk demographic, and the last thing you want to be doing is bringing your parents in contact with your kids and potentially have the virus spread. Let's not forget that 20% of all COVID-19 positive cases had no symptoms whatsoever. So your children could be carrying the virus. Your parents, yourself, you could be carrying the virus without even knowing it. So look, there's a very good guideline at the moment, which basically says that three's a crowd. So anything more than two people, unless they ordinarily live in the same household, shouldn't be in the same room together. And I think there's exceptions, 5 for a wedding and 10 for a funeral. But I'm getting off track. Let's talk about this specific situation where the school has closed and you have to be at home to look after your children. No one else is going to. So what do you do in that situation? I thought the answer to that was fairly clear. I thought that carer's leave is exactly what it's been in, this is the exact situation for which it's been intended. But like I said, this email that I got was suggesting the exact opposite. So I jumped on the internet, did some research, and I thought I'd share what I found with you, because you might find it helpful as well. By the way, my name is Pete, and you're watching Ahead of the Curve. So before I go further on this, and before I delve into what the FairWork Ombudsman has to say in regards to this situation in particular, particularly how it relates to COVID-19, I thought I'd make one point really, really clear. And that's, I think we all need to be starting from a common starting point as far as our approach to this, as far as our attitude is concerned. And that's, we need to all be working together. I mean, this is a very exceptional circumstance, an exceptional situation, which, yes, we had a little bit of lead time, but really no one saw this coming. I think I am reading the public mood out there correctly, in that is the overwhelming predisposition of most people out there, in that people want to work together. People realise that, we're all on the same team here, and we really all need to work together. We're codependent on each other. The statistics are that if 90% of the population, 80 to 90% of the population doesn't stay home and doesn't effectively isolate and spatially, physically isolate, this thing is just going to start resuming on its exponential growth path. So, you know, every person helps out the community and the society as a whole. So whether we like it or not, we have to work together. And I think everyone is starting from that starting point, but I thought I'd make it really, really clear. And just in case you're one of those that maybe doesn't agree, maybe you should realise, and I think most of us realise this anyway, that whether we agree with it or not, whether we realise it or not, as employees and employers, we live in a symbiotic relationship anyway. We're in a codependent working relationship because from an employer's point of view, company's nothing without its employees, you know, let's be honest. And the other way around as well. If there's no company, the employee doesn't have a job to come back to. And really, you know, it's in everyone's best interest to make sure that the companies that are struggling, and which is pretty much 99% of every company out there, the companies that are struggling at the moment during this situation, you know, we need to do whatever we can to help the company, if we can personally, to make sure it's still there and to make sure that you have a job to come back to when this is all over. And it's not an if, it's a when. So when this is all over, you know, you want a job to come back to. So keep that in the back of your mind. But let's now get into, as I said, what the FairWork Ombudsman has to say. I actually looked up a website called Employment Hero. And I'll include a description link, I'll include a website link in the description below so that you can look this up yourself. In fact, what I've done is I've put all my notes into a Word document here. So what I might do is save it all into a PDF. And if you want a copy of it, send me an email. I'll include my email in the description section below this video again, you know, as part of the YouTube website. So there might be a arrow that you need to press to bring up the comments, but you'll find my email there. Feel free to send me an email and I'll send you this as a PDF. This is basically just something that I've found on the internet earlier this evening. So question is, when does sick leave or personal or carers leave apply? According to FairWork, sick and carers leave, also known as personal leave or carers leave, allows an employee to take time off work to help them deal with personal illness, that's obvious, caring responsibilities, and I think that's the key in this situation, or family emergencies. And then it lists a whole lot of situations where sick leave might apply, and it's, where the employee tests positive for COVID-19. And then this is the key in regards to the specific situation that we're talking about here, and that is school closure due to COVID-19. There's another website that I found, and this one's a Jobs Australia website. I'll include this link in the description section below, and that says, if an employee's children's school has shut down, they can access personal leave due to an unexpected emergency. And I think everyone in their right mind would agree that if there is an emergency, I think COVID-19 is it. And I don't think anyone's going to argue that it's unexpected, that it's expected. I think everyone would agree that it is unexpected. So it goes on to say, if you require proof, a letter from the school advising of the shutdown is sufficient. If an employee doesn't have enough accrued, paid personal leave to cover the absence, they can negotiate alternative paid leave at the employer's discretion. So yeah, that all makes sense. So that's from Jobs Australia, and even Kochie's got a paragraph here that I found. It says, employees who are, so this is at the website Kochie's Business Builders. Once again, I'll include the link in the description section. Employees who are unable to attend due to closure of schools, etc. If schools, childcare centres, etc. close due to suspected or actual cases of the virus, employees may notify you that they are unable to attend work due to a breakdown in their usual childcare arrangements. And I think this is what it comes down to the breakdown of the usual childcare arrangements. In this case, normal rules relating to personal leave will apply. So that's fairly clear there. This is from the FairWork website, And once again, there's a link in the description section. What if an employee cannot attend work because their child's school or childcare centre has closed due to coronavirus? Employees who cannot come to work because they need to care for a child whose school or childcare centre has closed will ordinarily need to use paid leave entitlements to be paid for their absence. Paid carers leave is available, so let's not forget carers leave, person leave, sick leave, they're all interchangeable terms, I believe anyway. Just a disclaimer here, I'm not a lawyer, so please feel free to check this with your lawyer if you wish. Paid carers leave is available to full-time or part-time employees where the employee needs to look after a family member or a member of their household who requires care or support because of personal illness or unexpected emergency affecting the member. Whether particular circumstances amount to an employee needing to provide care or support due to an unexpected emergency will depend on the particular facts. A school or childcare centre closing on short notice for a short period due to concerns about coronavirus, for example because someone at the school has tested positive, is an unexpected emergency for this purpose. Now, it can't be any clearer than that, but they do actually go even further, and the FairWork website includes a particular example. So the example says, employee needs to care for a child during school closure. This is the example. Winona's children attend primary school. On Sunday, she received an email from the school informing her that school holidays will be brought forward to Tuesday rather than starting holidays the Monday after. This means Winona needs to organise care for her children earlier than planned. Usually when Winona needs care for her children at short notice, her parents help her out. However, given the government's social distancing recommendations, she's unable to ask her parents to look after her children. Winona is currently working from home after her office closed down, but she lets her employer know she won't be able to work at all while she cares for her children. They discuss her leave options. As this situation is an unexpected emergency, Winona goes on paid carers leave until when school holidays were expected to start. So I don't think it's could possibly be any clearer than that. The FairWork Ombudsman, as I said, has gone to the trouble of including a specific example that deals with this specific case, and the website under which I found this is the actual website address on the FairWork webpage. It's https://coronavirus.fairwork.gov.au. So this is specifically to do with the coronavirus, and as you've obviously heard, the specific example here is of the grandparents not being able to care for the children as they usually would have done as a result of the social distancing rules. And whether there's social distancing rules there or not, morally and from a safety perspective and every other perspective, I think it's the silliest thing one could do. And that's, if you have an option. If you don't have an option, it's a completely different situation. But if you have an option to look after your children, I think you should be doing it rather than asking your parents, who are obviously elderly and the most at-risk demographic here. So look, I think that's it. I think that's it from me. So hopefully that is of some help. As I said, I thought this was pretty clear. I've come across this situation, just read an email, as I said earlier this evening, and in that email it was asserted that the opposite to this was the case. So I thought I'd do everyone a favour and just put the information that I have managed to find up there in a friendly video format for you to absorb. That's it from me. If you found this information helpful, if you know anyone else that may be in this situation and this may apply to them, please feel free to share the video with them, send them the link, or share the video directly through YouTube. Feel free to send me an email if you've got any other, or please provide your comments in the description section below. If you agree, disagree, if you have anything to add, I'd love to hear from you. So please do that. Please also consider subscribing so that you can get alerted to any new videos as and when they come out. And as I always say, stay safe, stay sustainable, and stay ahead of the curve. Ciao.